Hey family, welcome. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. Welcome to the show. I know this is an impromptu live, so please bear with me. This is just something I wanted to bring to the family before we start our 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Show with Sheik Jacob Bey, who's going to decode some things for us. But first, family, let me just get myself together. I do want to tell you about something that's happening in the banking industry, just in case we need to make some moves. I will always want to alert you on what's going on financially, as I do like to give financial forecasts. So give me a second and get you some water. And also remember, we're going to go live again at 7 o'clock with Sheik Jacob Bey. But I got to tell you something that Judge Anna von Reitz just released. 1 second, family.
Shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day.
All right, family, this is going to be just a brief live stream because we do have a show with Sheik Jacob Bey at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's got a lot to talk about today. But listen, I heard some information that I think I need to bring to the Soul family. I'm going to show you just a brief clip, from a financial channel to let you know that the king has fallen. And that is what they're saying in the financial and banking industry, that JP Morgan missed a margin call. And this margin call miss is going to cause silver to skyrocket to the moon. So bear with me. I'm just going to show you a brief clip. I'm going to read something. Then I'm going to put a couple of videos and articles in the description section for you to read. Because according to what I've learned, this margin call miss basically meaning that JP Morgan Chase has assets but no cash. So now they can't take care of their so-called gambling addiction. And what it has done is it's caused a lot of people to actually lose their retirement accounts. So according to fiduciary or sovereign judge Anna von Reitz, tens of thousands, that's a lot of people, tens of thousands of Germans have lost out on their retirement accounts. Those are Germans that are at retirement age or Germans that are actually in retirement. They've lost all the money they saved. They trusted the company to put money into particular accounts for their retirements, and now there's no money. And so what we're hearing is that this could affect everybody. This could affect Americans. This could affect other people. And some people are saying, take your money out of the banks. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, although I give financial forecasts based on my information and my experience and my wisdom and what I've learned in my education in economics. But because I don't have certain certifications, I can't say you must take your money out of the banks. But I can tell you that it may be a good idea, if this news makes sense to you, to roll over your money or any cash you have into hard assets. We've been talking about that anyway for a long time. And I'll show you. You guys know who I'm an affiliate with. You know that I'm an affiliate with Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. So you can either roll over your money into Miles Franklin by calling 952-929-7006 or send them an email at info@milesfranklin.com and let them know Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you. But there are many online places you could go to put your cash into. I'm going to show you the video whether you get silver, gold, palladium, platinum, what else? Copper, whatever. Just do something with this information. Now, I'm not here to cause anybody to be upset or anything. I'm just giving you the news, okay? So let me give you the news here that I just heard. I heard this just happened yesterday. So I apologize for actually being a day late. But let me show you what I heard in the news. I'm just going to show you this short video, like 1 minute and 17 seconds. So it won't take up much of your time. Then I encourage you to come back at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear from Jacob Bey, our sheik, who's going to decode things that happened today, which is January 6, 2026. This is J6, the 5th anniversary of what happened on J6. So it's no surprise that we're hearing news around this time. Listen to this article or this video right here, okay? This happened 9:30 a.m. yesterday morning on January the 5th, 2026.
At 9:30 a.m. this morning, the phone rang at the headquarters of J.P. Morgan Chase on Madison Avenue. It was the margin clerk from the CME Group. The bank was required to deposit $4 billion in immediate liquidity to cover the exploding losses on their silver short positions. Usually this is a routine transaction. The bank wires the money and the game continues. But today, something historic happened. The wire didn't come. 10:00 a.m. passed, then 10:30 a.m. By 11:00 a.m., rumors began to swirl on the trading floor that the world's largest bullion bank had missed a margin call. We can now confirm that J.P. Morgan has failed to meet its capital requirements. For the first time in American history, a too-big-to-fail bank has technically defaulted on its obligations to the...
A too-big-to-fail bank has technically defaulted on its obligations. Now, remember, under Obama and former administrations, banks were considered too big to fail, some of the big banks. And if they were too big to fail, then the government would bail them out. Well, when Trump came along under his first administration, he reorganized that whole rule that say that you can bail out the banks. He said, no more bailing out banks. Okay, that's not going to happen under his watch. So I want you to hear this. It's a too big to fail bank, but it's just going to collapse. And then what happens? Well, I'll leave that up to you to decide, but no more bailing out. The government can't even afford to bail out the banks. The government is trillions of dollars, almost $40 trillion in debt. It can't pay. It doesn't have enough to pay EBT, welfare, TANF, Section 8, even Social Security is considered an entitlement benefit. Now, we know that behind the scenes, gold has been put forth, and we do have enough gold to pay off the debt, but we don't know if we're going to let this king completely fall and collapse, because as Sheikh Jacob Bey told us, one king must fall for another to rise. One empire must collapse for another to rise. I'll take that back just a little bit more.
10:00 a.m. passed, then 10:30 a.m. By 11:00 a.m., rumors began to swirl on the trading floor that the world's largest bullion bank had missed a margin call. We can now confirm that J.P. Morgan has failed to meet its capital requirements. For the first time in American history, a too-big-to-fail bank has technically defaulted on its obligations to the exchange. The king has fallen.
The king has fallen. Pay attention to the words they use.
To understand the terror gripping Wall Street right now, you need to understand what a margin call actually is. When you trade with leverage, you borrow money to open a position. The exchange requires you to keep a certain amount of cash in your account as a safety deposit. If your trade goes against you, like silver rocketing to $85, your losses eat into that deposit. The exchange then issues a call for more cash. If you don't pay within the hour, the exchange takes control of your account and liquidates everything you own to pay the debt. J.P. Morgan, the bank that holds the deposits of millions of Americans, just admitted it doesn't have the cash to keep its gambling addiction alive.
So they can't pay their debts. And I see somebody says, that sounds like AI. Yes, it does. But when you look at other articles, don't be too quick to just pass this off as, oh, it's only AI, it's not real. Look at the articles. They've been saying for a long time, follow Andy Schectman, the CEO of Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company, follows economists. They've all been saying that this is going to happen. They've all been saying that at some point, the banks will not be able to address these paper contracts of silver. There's a difference between paper contracts and actually having silver in hand. The paper contracts, they might sell these contracts to millions of people, a whole lot of people, more than one person. But then it comes a time when people are like, I need my stuff whatever I lent to you, but they don't have the cash on hand. So yes, this may be AI, but let me show you all the articles, okay? Because I want you to see this. JP Morgan. fails the margin call. Okay. Because I hear you now that there's AI and people are waking up to AI. People, you just don't trust everything you see, and you shouldn't, but you should do your own due diligence. Silver trade margin call is a large bullion bank short silver position. The bank and the silver surge, rumors versus reality, December 29th. It happened. JP Morgan missed the margin call. Here's another one. JP Morgan liquidated in silver. Viral bank blow up. Silver price rumors has 675 million. Did a systematically import bank just collapse? This was December 28th, 2025. So, I know just showing you one thing is not enough. So I'm showing you all these other things. Metals acting like meme stocks, unconfirmed rumors. This was December 29th, but do your own due diligence because that's not all I want to show you. Let me show you something from Judge Anna von Reitz, and I'll just show a brief clip because I do have to come back on with, who is this? With Sheik Bay. Let me see if I can find this here with Judge Anna von Reitz. You can look at this particular channel called Emerald Path. It says silver deficit equals a failed mega bank. Okay, here, let's see what she says. I'll just show you a brief clip.
The JP margin call default has been confirmed. It was JP Morgan that missed its margin call on silver commodities. I guess the first thing I should explain to people is that there is a difference between paper silver and actual silver. The trading of paper futures in various commodities has gotten out of control and resulted in an entire derivatives market that among the big bank players affects virtually everything on the planet. And
you said this affects virtually everything on the planet. We've been hearing that there's going to be some type of financial collapse because everything attached to the United States dollar will collapse. The housing market, the what else? Real estate market, the stock market. But now this could further explain it. Because I don't have a lot of time to go into it because we have a 7 o'clock show, I will put information just enough for you in the description section of this video for you to do a further deep dive. But they are saying protect your assets, protect your bank accounts. And also they're saying make sure you have some hard assets if you can afford it.
Most importantly, pension funds are a specially protected class of obligations in a bankruptcy. If a company goes bankrupt, the pension funds take a top level position in the bankruptcy hierarchy of creditors.
Something I just remembered. Remember I said a too big to fail bank is one that the government would bail out. Well, now that was part of the Dodd-Frank Act. President Trump actually modified the Dodd-Frank Act that said we will no longer bail banks out.
So that people don't lose their retirements.
I'll take that back just a little bit.
In the bankruptcy hierarchy of creditors, so that people don't lose their
Hold on, let me just a little bit more so you can finish her thought.
If a company goes bankrupt, the pension funds take a top level position in the bankruptcy hierarchy of creditors so that people don't lose their retirements. And then the state does not get those people on its rolls. Actually, they should be enjoying their retirement, which was guaranteed to them by a franchise corporation, right? So pension funds have a protected position in any kind of bankruptcy liquidation sort of situation. And for that reason, they have a preferred status in terms of rattling money.
So pension funds are supposed to be protected in the event of bankruptcy.
You often see things associated with management of corporate pension funds that are kind of bizarre and weird and really shouldn't be allowed, that the managers today are taking money out and accepting funding for pensions that won't be paid until, 35 years in advance. And long story short, a lot of people in Germany lost their pension over what happened this weekend. Thousands, tens of thousands of Germans who are at retirement age or who are already retired lost their pensions.
Thousands or tens of thousands of Germans. I don't know why they were affected first, but I'm going to put this video in the chat for you. I'll also put it in the description section, and I'll just go on and maybe just a few more minutes so you can see what she's talking about. I respect Judge Anna von Reitz because a lot of things she's been saying that's going to happen has happened. And I followed her journey along the way. She is sovereign. She's done all of the work to operate in that capacity. And she's been doing a lot to help take down the deep state by going through certain steps and procedures and protocols that we call a lawful protest, not taking to the streets, but actually filing certain paperwork, going against the United States Incorporated, and also just doing certain things that are lawfully according to the Constitution that can be done to take down the Federal Reserve Central Banking System and United States Corporation.
Now, think about that in terms of what it would mean to you and people that you know if suddenly they didn't have the pension that they worked and earned and entrusted to their employers. The kind of thing that happens when you have a default by a very, very major bank player that, despite being solvent, is not liquid.
Despite being solvent, they're okay. They should be in the clear, but they're not liquid. They don't have enough cash. Okay, here it says, oh, I want to see what you said at that point. What did we just miss? JP Morgan is solvent, not liquid. Failing a silver margin is bank suicide. So I could go on, but I don't want to bore your patience. I know we have another show that we're supposed to have starting in about 15 minutes, a little less than 15 minutes. I will look at some of your thoughts. You said not all AI is fake. That's right. Sometimes people just use AI because it might be easier for them and they might not want to come online. They might not want to show their face. So they allow AI to actually, show them, do the news for them. What other comments do you all have? That's wild. Yes, for people to lose their money. Absolutely. Hello, Sherman. It's good to see you. Hello, Sister Janine. It's good to see you. We are told no one will lose their money because it mirrored the QFS. The banks will close and people will panic. Yes, we were told that the banks are mirrored on the QFS. I agree. At the same time, people lost their retirement accounts in Germany, according to Judge Anna von Reitz. So people should you're right. People should use their own judgment. We should do our due diligence. We should listen to whatever information we think could benefit us and aid us in our decision making, and then follow with that advice. Dr. Kia Pruitt, did you see the IRS telling people to wait to file their taxes? When have they ever said that? They said it 2 years ago. I didn't see it this year, but they did say it 2 years ago, between 2022, 2023. They told people don't pay your taxes. And they said, because we can't determine how people should file since we just came out of a global pandemic. So they might either be recycling the news or just saying the same thing over. And I told people then 2 or 3 years ago, this came out from the IRS saying you don't have to pay your taxes. But because, we've been told to pay our taxes and some people were a little scared, they paid their taxes anyway. What I told my family to do is you can call them send a letter to the IRS and the federal, and the United States Treasury and tell them you need extra time to pay your taxes and just wait, or you need to be completely forgiven to not pay the taxes. Now, I can't tell you what they would say, but I do know when the IRS took $10,000 from one of my children, and because they said you owe the taxes, I told him, write a letter to the IRS and another letter to the United States Treasury Department, because the Treasury Department handles all the duties of money and the Federal Reserve, and the IRS. So I said, you write a letter to the IRS, send a duplicate copy, the same letter to the Treasury Department. You tell them I need my money back because I'm suffering economically, and due to the global pandemic and losing my job, I'm not able to pay this debt. I need my money back right now. Do you know that within 30 days, they paid him all of his $10,000 back? I told him, when you listen to my voice and you follow, and sometimes they might give you a no, you just keep going on, you keep persisting, because there's always a ram in the bush, meaning usually there's a solution for you to be able to get out of their system, but you have to be persistent. Just like credit repair, you can write a 609 letter saying, I see that there's something in collection. This is an unverifiable debt. And due to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 609, if you cannot verify that this debt belongs to me by providing the original contract with my wet ink signature, you must remove the debt from my credit report. And you write that letter to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You get it notarized. You send a copy of your driver's license and social security card. I know we don't like doing that, but you can. This is the process. This is the ram in the bush to dispute things on your credit report. And when you do that and you send it to them, return receipt requested, meaning they have to sign for it and you have to be notified and get a receipt saying they received it, then typically 9 times out of 10, they remove it from your credit report. Sometimes you got to do it 2 times. Sometimes you got to do it 3rd time. I've only had to do it once or sometimes twice in certain situations. There's always a ram in the bush. That euphemism or that statement came from when Abraham in the Bible was told to sacrifice his oldest son. And because he was obedient and he was about to sacrifice his son to the God of the Bible, he laid out everything. Then the God of the Bible spoke to him and said, because you were obedient, you don't have to do that. There's a ram in the bush. Take that ram and sacrifice it instead. There's always a remedy. There's always a solution or a ram in the bush, family. And I'm giving you rams in the bush. If you don't know what to do with your cash or extra cash or savings, whether it's a retirement account or extra savings, and you don't know if the banks are going to collapse, because we've already had 2 major banks to a collapse in 2025, and I showed you those the other day. And we've already had 5 major banks that collapsed a few years ago. So this is several banks that have collapsed, several branches that have closed. But if you're not sure and you're like, hey, I know that everything's supposed to be mirrored on a quantum financial system account or with the QFS system, but you're not sure, you can always only leave enough money in the bank to pay off the bills. And the rest you can roll over into hard assets, gold, silver, palladium, platinum. Everybody here is not poor. Okay. Some people say people can't afford that. We're all struggling. Everybody's not struggling. And even those that are struggling can some usually afford sterling silver, silver jewelry, constitutional silver, junk silver, copper, which is less than $3, right? A gold RM notes, which is 24 karat pressed on a note, real gold RM notes that you can find at SD Bullion, JM Bullion. You can find it at your local coin dealer. You can find it at goldback.com. You can find gold backs, also known as gold RM notes, which are 24 karat notes pressed onto the note that right now in most states in America are used as legal tender. You can use gold backs, and some of them are as little as $5 for a gold back, $6, $7, $8 for a gold back. All I'm saying is put your money in a hard asset, because they're saying this is serious, that JP Morgan cannot handle what they're supposed to do. They cannot pay off their debt. Even though they're solvent, they're in trouble. They don't have enough cash to give to the people that they owe. And they're saying that this is going to cause silver prices to go to the moon. They're not going to be able to suppress the silver prices. So another thing I want to say to us that we don't know if we can trust AI is I've been hearing this for a long time, years, that at some point, people are going to call in their contracts because of the whole paper silver thing where they would sell these contracts to many people. So you might have 5, 10, 6, 20, 100 people that think they own silver from the bank, but they all are bought one piece of paper, and that is not enough. That it's not physical silver. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. You can call Miles Franklin Precious Metals at 952-929-7006 or send an email to info@milesfranklin.com and let them know Dr. Kia Pruitt sent you. You can go to an online coin dealer or at your choice. You can go to your own local coin dealer. I'm telling you this information because this news just broke yesterday. This is something I've been hearing for years was going to happen, and now here we are. So as I looked at what Judge Anna von Reitz said, what's interesting is at the end of the video, I'm going to show you what came up at the end of the video in just a minute. Something that really caught my attention. I was like, they're telling you, even on this channel, the person that's reporting what Judge Anna von Reitz says, I'm not a financial advisor. But what I'm saying is when you see banks collapse and, people talk about how there would be no more bank bailouts. We should just have this information and do whatever we can. Will there be bank bail-ins? Somebody asked in the comment section. I don't think the Dodd-Frank Act addressed bail-ins, but I'll check into that and report on that later. Okay. A bank bail-in means that a bank can take the money, the deposits that you have in the bank, and make themselves whole if they ever get in trouble, because we literally are creditors. We think that we're debtors when we deposit money in the bank, but we're the creditor. We're really lending the bank our money. Unbeknownst to us, the money doesn't belong to you per se. They say once you put in the bank, you are the creditor, it's your money, but then you lending it to the bank. And that's how these banks were able to do all these types of things like, trade, invest and all that. Because banks are now Basel III and Basel IV compliant, they're not supposed to be able to do that. But which banks have not been compliant, I don't know. I'm just reporting that JP Morgan missed a margin call. And so what I would encourage people to do is to research to see what that means. One of the things that the person said who reported this video is that JP Morgan has reportedly missed a margin call, triggering fears or panic of a historic financial default and a likely global market meltdown. Well, we heard that there's going to be a global market meltdown, right? We heard that the whole old financial system will collapse. But is your money in the bank safe? I don't know. I'm just telling you, they're saying that tens of thousands of Germans lost their retirement account. Maybe the retirement account is different from the cash in the bank. Okay. So I would say do your own research. I'm just reporting the news, but it's everybody's responsibility to dig further. This event will definitely impact your money, according to this particular author, and your savings, your banks. Silver prices will be impacted as well, and the global financial system. I'll pull this up so you can read it along with me. I only got 5 more minutes before Jacob Bay comes on. Let's see. A margin call yesterday from the CME Group demanded $4 billion in cash from JP Morgan, one of the world's largest banks, which failed the margin call. Anna von Reitz, American Federation fiduciary, reports that silver is not available to these banks as the margin call and pension funds are being dissolved. Thousands will lose their retirement funds, according to this person and Anna von Reitz, due to mismanagement of this mega bank. JP Morgan and the privately owned Federal Reserve as well. Predictions, not financial advice, are as follows. Silver will skyrocket, higher in price. Some banks will fail, economy will implode, there will be a run on the bank, the elderly will have zero retirement accounts and will need assistance. Demand banks become Basel IV compliant, protect the Americans and their assets, according to this particular person. And I think most banks are Basel III and Basel IV compliant, but they're saying that this actually happened. I showed you all the articles, and I'll put some more in the description section for you to read. I know that they're supposed to be like, we've been saying for years, there's going to be a stock market collapse, and everything attached to the dollar. Since the United States dollar has lost its value because all the all of the BRICS nation, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, that whole union of nations. And then you have the Shanghai Organization Corporation. All of those have decided to stop trading with the dollar. So we know that the dollar is on the brink of collapse. And another thing we know, basic economic principle, for those of you who study economics or you're interested in finances and economics, as the dollar loses value, precious metals increase in value. So when you see that increase in precious metals go up, the dollar is significantly losing its value. You also know as silver and gold goes up, that it will go to the moon. It will continue to soar because there will be no more suppression or holding down of the silver. On this Anna von Reitz video, you see it says China has halted all silver exports. China's no longer exporting silver out of the country. The price of metals is soaring as the United States banking system scrambled to meet future margin calls that they presently cannot complete. Watch the system implode. This particular person says remove cash from savings accounts. I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm not telling anybody what to do with their cash, but I will tell you what some people that I know are doing is they're putting enough money in the bank to pay their bills. You know, putting money in the bank to pay bills, that's kind of different from savings, like retirement savings, where people have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, right? That's a little different. Some people are rolling over their 401ks actually into an account with gold, what they call it, a gold 401k. You can roll over your retirement account into a gold IRA. You could do that through Miles Franklin or any other online dealer. If you want to do that, they also have a storage unit, 952-929-7006. That's about it, family. I thank all of you. I didn't get to acknowledge those of you who are blessing me with the Cash App blessing, but I appreciate you. If I have a little time, I only got 2 more minutes, but let me just say thank you. You all have been so kind and so good to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm either way, it doesn't, I'm not offended either way, whether, you think this is good or not. Sister Angela says, thank you, Goddess. So glad I found you. You're welcome. Thank you. Who is this? Utham Botlin says, this is a gift for you. Thank you for the financial blessing. Jay blessed me and says, thank you, sis. Great podcast. You're welcome. FRB Supreme Magneteer 963 says, ancient majestic remembrance transmitted. Thank you. I appreciate you. Beautiful Mac Ministry. Our Chief Mac also gave me a Cash App blessing at $ Mama Kia 13, $ MAMA KIA 13. So somebody said, I saw another YouTuber today that knows this stuff. And what else? He knows the stuff they're saying, that they are saying the RV is not going to happen at all. What is your thoughts? The revaluation of currency is actually happening right now in real time. You could go watch, if you have a chance, my private group. I show you all the countries, many countries that have actually redenominated their currencies and unveiled their new currencies. A revaluation is happening. I can do a whole podcast on that tomorrow. Hi, T Mac. I love you. Thank you so much. I'm running a little late. It's 7:00. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for the gift, T Mac. I love you. I appreciate you. Join in on my other show that's about to start right now with Sheikh Jacob Bey. And that show is Decoding Today, J6. What happened? Something huge happened where the Pope actually closed the portal on J6, the 5th anniversary of J6, January 6, 2026. This is what that looks like. I'm about to check out of here. I'm sure Jacob Bey is in the background waiting. Here is the podcast I'm about to go over to. This is my main channel. You don't have to worry about going over to the group. It's called Pope Leo Closes the Portal on J6. We got lots of people waiting over there. Go on over there, family. I'll put the link in the description section for you. Let me go ahead and also give you my membership group if you want to join that. People have told me thank you because today I reposted a video that I did talking about the bank protocol for foreign currency exchanges. So let me go ahead and show you that link for you to join if you want to watch that video. Where is it? Membership. There are certain things I only talk about. Here we go. In my membership. Hello. Yeah. Oh, what's the price of silver? The price of silver is $83.19. Yes. Oh my God. Okay, I'm doing a podcast. No. So you were saying, you said that you always say that there's a correlation between the gas prices drop and silver and gold. In your opinion, what you noticed in your observation?
There's an inverse correlation. Like when the gas price decreases,
Mm-hmm.
then the silver price increases.
Okay. And so the gas price just decreased.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. And the silver, and you said silver is, let me check that out. Thank you, babe. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I love you.
All right. Love you too.
I'll call you right back in an hour.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whoa. So here is the silver price. It is 83.17. Then I just told y'all when that happened, they said silver is going to go to the moon. I try to only report what I can verify. So here it is. Well, here on silverprice.com is only 82.46, but you guys are saying it's higher than that. And here 4,491, that's the gold price, but the silver futures and other prices. What does it say on APMEX? On APMEX, let's see what APMEX is saying the silver price is, or I can go to Miles Franklin too, milesfranklin.com. So you guys are verifying, because silver was 72, like the other day it had dropped to 72, then it went to 76. Now it's 83. Family, hey, whatever you guys think we should do, it's going up fast. Silver's going up fast. Yes, you showed a whole list of it happening. It's all happening, family. Wow. Okay, so this is cool. If you are interested, yep, 83.16. So I went to APMEX. It's 83.16. Wow. Okay, I'll just show it to you guys right quick. I know Jacob Bay is probably waiting on me. I'm coming, Jacob, if you can hear me. Let's see. APMEX, that's another silver and gold company. Silver 83.16 and gold is 4,500. It's happening. And it's J6. I cannot wait to get Jacob Bay on. We're about to go over to watch Jacob Bay on my show, talk about all this stuff, and he's going to decode so much for us, family. It is over. The king has fallen. They just said it in one of the videos I showed you with JP Morgan actually having trouble. So go over to, let me show you this link, and we're going to have Jacob Bay to talk to us. Talk to me. Dime. Spanish. Dime, háblame, talk to me. Let me know what's happening. I am what they call Latina. My mom's side is from Colombia. So I'm putting that link in the chat for you. We will only be on for about 1 hour today because I got more stuff to do. I got to go see my daughter. Oh my gosh, she's excited about the prices going up. You know, even when we don't have money, we're still, or don't have, a lot of it, we still get excited when we see all this stuff happening because we know that the family is going to be blessed, that the whole world is going to be blessed. So I'm trying to look for my private membership group as well, because in my private membership group, I show you about how currencies have revalued, how they're preparing for the RV, how I show you all the countries that I could come up their currencies and unveil their new currencies. I do that in my membership group, but you can go to any video, look at join, push the join button, and voila, I'll come up. Okay, so follow the prompts when you hit the join button, or go here to this particular link. And family, that's it. I'll see you in a minute. I'm about to go over to hear Jacob Bay, Sheikh Jacob Bay, tell us what it means since Pope Leo closed the portal on today, January 6, 2026, which is the 5th anniversary of J6. Peace, family. I'll see you in a minute. Go over to watch that video. It's live.